All right. So I'm going to type my phone number. Hold on. So this is my WhatsApp. For WhatsApp audio calls. Audio calls and chat. So if you have any question, you can forward it now, or you can call only via WhatsApp. No video call, just the chat. Send a message so that I can read out your question. So anyway, let me call out the number. That's +234 8095721703. Again, +234 8095721703. Hold on. Okay, let me see. I think I made a mistake there. Let me type it. For WhatsApp audio. So I have any question, you can send it now via the WhatsApp screen on this number on the WhatsApp that you're going to see on the screen. And you can call as well, or you can type your message on the live chat. Okay, so let me start. I got a call for someone this morning, from a client actually, but he said his colleague was having an issue with his Peugeot 407. So I just tried to talk about it here. It's a Peugeot 407 with EW12 J4 engine. That's 2.2 liter petrol engine, which is a common engine in Peugeot 406, Peugeot 407, 607, and the rest. Now, the issue was catalytic converter. And the question was, should they change the catalytic converter? And if yes, how to go about it? But there's something people don't understand. When you talk about catalytic converter in Peugeot 407 with EW12J4 engine, you need to first identify which of the EW12J4 are you talking about. Now, EW12J4 engine in Peugeot 407 have two different injection system, emission system, and you can identify them from the engine itself. Now, when you check the left side of the cylinder head, engine cylinder head, the one Nigerians call top cylinder, when you check on that side, that when you start, you stand in front of the car, directly beside the tire on the left side front, looking into the engine, so you look down under the plastic engine cover, that silver engine cover. You look down on the cylinder head, you will see about two characters engraved on that cylinder head. So find out, is it E2? It must be these two. As long as it's EW12J4 engine, find out, is it E2 or E4? E2 or E4. So whichever one you find there will determine the system, your emission system. They are not the same. Now, if it's E2, or in other words, you could just check your VIN. I think that will make it easier. I know I've tweeted this before. Just check your VIN. Go to your VIN, The VIN is the 17 characters that we call vehicle identification number. Sometimes it's not necessarily the chassis number, but chassis number is part of it. So check your VIN. It starts with VF3 for Peugeot 406. Peugeot 407, it will start with VF36, then probably D, blah, blah, blah. So if it's for EW12 engine, what you find there, check the 6th, 7th, and the 8th characters on that VIN. The 6th, the 7th, and the 8th characters on that VIN, starting from the V, you count until you get to the 6th, 7th, and 8th. If it's 3FY, so what you find either these two characters I'm going to mention, 3FY or 3FZ. It must be one of these two, as long as it's EW12J4, 3FZ or 3FY. Now, if it's 3FZ, it will have only one catalytic converter, and that catalytic converter will be under the vehicle, more like directly under the gear lever. So that's the normal position for catalytic converter on 4-cylinder engines, especially, well, not all 4-cylinder engines anyway, but I'm saying for 4-cylinder engine on Peugeot 407, that's the usual place. 3FZ, the 3FZ is almost the same in W12J4 engine in Peugeot 406, and five are identical, not almost the same. While the 3FY, now if you check, if yours has 3FY, it means it has two catalytic converters. So the 3FZ, if your 6th, 7th, and 8th characters on your VIN is 3FZ, if you check the left side of your cylinder head, what you see there is E2, right? Then if it's 3FY, it has two, like I mentioned, two catalytic converters. If you check on the left side of the cylinder head, what you see there is E4. Now, I know a lot of people have been mistakenly saying, oh, my engine is EW4 or EW14. I don't know where they got that. I can understand they always usually say it because they see that E4 on the cylinder head. They think it's EW4 or EW12. No, it's actually EW12. Just that the systems, the ejection system, emission system, they are not the same. So there are a few changes on both engines, but it doesn't mean the mechanical part of the engines are different. No, talking about just the things that control the engine, the emission, they are not basically the same. Even the motorized auto body are not the same anyway. I'll probably deal with that in one of my live stream or a separate video. So for the 3FZ, yeah, if your catalytic converter, if your system is showing that your catalytic converter is faulty, is like I said, it has only one. So you deal with only one catalytic converter, which is directly under the gear lever assembly. While for the 3FY, it has two. Now the second one is still at the same normal position under the gear lever assembly, just under the car. However, their catalytic converter is longer, and because of that, their downstream oxygen sensor is also longer. The cable, that wire, those 4 wires, they are longer than the 3FZ one. So if you take the downstream oxygen sensor from the 3FZ, it will not fit in on the 3FY. Not that it will not screw on the exhaust, but it won't get to the engine bay because the catalytic converter is longer. So in that case, for having issue with your catalyst on D2, that's Peugeot 407 with EW12, it's a 3FY. One catalyst under the vehicle. The second one is inside the exhaust manifold. Now monitoring sensors, and when it fails, it will even report on the system. From all the Peugeot 407 that I've handled with that issue, when that your catalyst is faulty. The one that will report is the one under, not that one on the manifold. So however, it gives symptoms. So most times you really don't need to guess. It gives symptoms. It has its own symptoms. If you scan the vehicle, let's say one of the symptoms, you feel the engine power will just drop. The car will lose so much power, it just be dragging. Then it will be producing black smoke. Yes, expect it. You'll be throwing out black smoke. If you scan the car, you'll be surprised. You won't see anything that will actually, in fact, the check engine light probably will even stay off. You scan the vehicle, even if there's a fault that will come up on the scan tool, it won't be actually be related to the issues the car is having at that time. So once you start getting that, you have to pull out the exhaust manifold. The catalyst is inside it. So you can physically check it. Yes, you can open the exhaust manifold and physically check it, or you swap in another one to see if there are any difference. The other one, like I said, if it's faulty, the system will report it. So it depends on. That's why I say when people are saying my catalyst is faulty, you need to first identify what's the emission system on your Peugeot 407 with that EW12 J4 engine. That will now determine how to go about with the diagnosis. Like I said, the other one, you might actually diagnose it without scan tool. Or the 3F, you can diagnose it with scan tool, while the 3FY, the scan tool will only get a point. You won't see that of the exhaust catalyst in the exhaust manifold. So you have to physically check that one. Okay, so that's by the way. Now, okay, I received a question from, hold on, I'll read it out. Okay, he said, hello, my friend, we are big fans from Hungary, and we want to ask a question about Peugeot 2.0 HDI engine. Is it a good engine, a reliable car? And what is your say? Thank you so much, Ranking. You are a great help to my upcoming purchase. If you could mention my name, he said. So his name is Brandon. So this is a WhatsApp message received from Brandon from Hungary in Europe. Okay. Before I answer your first question, you said is Peugeot 406 a reliable car? I don't use the word anymore, reliable, because I realize it's actually subjective. A lot of people attach so many meanings or have their own different meanings when it comes to reliability. To them, even when a fuse or even when a headlight bulb blows, to them, the car is not reliable. Even when they don't use the recommended oil and the engine fails, or the turbocharger fails, to them the car is not reliable. So these days, reliability, honestly, is as good as, I don't get into it anymore, because no matter what you say, people will always have their own definition. Especially when they have a poor maintenance culture. So you said, is it a reliable car? I would say it's a dependable car. Peugeot 406 is a car. Okay, let me even try it in a different way. See, since this year, we are in September, right? 2020. From January to this September, I have never plugged in a scan tool in my Peugeot 406 V6 stick shift, a 20-year-old vehicle. So if this doesn't summarize the answer, I don't know what else. How many months now? 9 months. I have not had any cause. I have almost 4, at least. Okay, 3. I think one is now 40. Yeah, one is now 40. But at least I have 3 working diagnostic tools, different brands, different types. As it's not like I borrow. I have it personally. So the idea, it's not like I'm lazy to go and start. So it's not like I need to borrow anything before I can start. So I have them. So but the car has never given me any reason or any cause to plug in a scan to a 20-year-old vehicle with over 200 and some 200 and how many thousands of kilometer mileage. I mean, that's why I say it's a dependable car. It's a car that will serve. If you I always use this one, Peugeot 406 is a soft, a modern soft version of Peugeot 504. That just summarizes Peugeot 406. It's not as, I would say, dependable. I could say not as rugged as Peugeot 504, but it's a soft version of it, or a softer version of it. Or okay, let us leave the soft because sometimes it behaves like even the 504. But I would say a modern 504. So when you say modern, you know that okay, there are some things you can't do with the car that you can do with the 504. So that's how good Peugeot 406 is. It's a very good car. It's a car that, I mean, all you need is just press the nose anywhere you want to go to take you there and bring you back. It's just that good. It's a car that, even as it's aging, as long as the body is still intact, you don't abuse it, you look at it every day, it still stands out. It stands out even with the newer cars. Yeah, this is an old vehicle. Yes, it's old. Anybody saying it's a new car? No, it's not. A newer car, no. Yeah, it has a modern system, but still, it's still an old car. Mine is 20 years old. There are some that are older than mine. Same model, Peugeot 406. So, yeah, it's a very dependable car. I mean, I love mine. So, it's very good. Now, when it comes to the HDI, you said you are interested in Peugeot 406 with 2.0 HDI engine. Now, I'm going to explain. I think I said something I responded to WhatsApp, but however, I have little knowledge on diesel engines, including the HDI. So I don't know much about them. However, I interact with the users, both the past and the present, people who are still using them. And so from what I've seen so far, they are fantastic engines compared to the newer HDI engines. Yeah, they just like every other engine, they have their issues. For example, one of the issues appears to look like peculiar to the HDI is EGR valve. Yeah, mostly EGR valve. However, there's one particular HDI engine in Peugeot 406 D9 that appears to be simpler. It's more, you have less electronics, because what usually give issue, if you ask any person that have used an old vehicle or you are now using a newer one, or that is still having those two vehicles, old and new, he will tell you that the issues with the modern engines is the electronics. The other ones are mechanically controlled. We have like 5 or 2% of electronics of electrical running the distributor and the rest. While the mechanical one is like 80% or close to 70% electrically controlled. So what usually give the issue is not the mechanical, it's the electrical that control the engine. So there's a particular engine in Peugeot 406 controlled than the other ones. In fact, it's so much that I don't even think it has an engine ECU. Didn't list any ECU concerning that engine in that car. So it means it has more mechanical control than the electrical. Have this DPF that is giving all most having a hard time dealing with the DPF. So that one doesn't have it. So it's an advantage. I know, but then it's not like all the phase two. When I mean D9, I'm talking about Peugeot 406 produced from 1999 to 2004 in Europe, which exceeded 2004 in other regions or continents or countries. But in Europe, I think it ended in 2004 for Peugeot 406, the production. So this particular one, this engine, I think it was used for probably 99 and ended in 2001. So I don't think you can get this, if you're looking for a D9, right, with this engine, you can't get it beyond 2001. I'm not sure, but from what I've seen so far, I think they stopped it in 2001. So it means you are likely going to get one. If you're interested, it has to be between 99 to 2000 or something like that. But at least I know the engine is actually DW10TD. DW10TD, that's the engine model. It's 2.0, and like I except the power it has one of the, I think it's the lowest power among the 2.0 diesel engine. AGI succeeded to check the engine model and all that, but the easiest way to find out the engine model is check the VIN again, just like I explained in the other one for the EW12. Check the VIN. The VIN will be 6th, 7th, and 8th figures. Just check on that VIN, RHY. So once it's there, it means, that's the engine I'm talking about. So the system will be this most simplest diesel engine in Peugeot 406 to maintain. However, I'm not saying the other engines like we have RHS, RHZ. I'm talking about the 6th, 7th, and 8th character. These systems, we have quite a number of them. I think about 2.0 diesel engine in Peugeot 406 D9. So I'm not saying the other ones are not good and dependable as well, but it's just that you have to, dealing with the DPF. One thing I know that the DPF needs diesel additive, right? I've forgotten the name of this additive. It depends on, Peugeot usually recommends, forgotten this name. Is it EOY something something? So you can check it out to know what the additive I'm talking about. So, but that's what you have to be using, the additive, and then you have to be using it constantly on highway, so that the DPF will go to, how do you call it? Is it regeneration or something, to burn off those carbon, or to prevent those carbon from accumulating in the system and then block the DPF. Okay, so yes, I'll advise you, go ahead. I'm not saying the one you are interested, because I actually posted one, is a station wagon. So I can't tell the condition of the one on the vehicle you're interested to buy, but I can tell you, since you are in Europe, it will be probably easier for you to maintain a diesel one than petrol. Diesel HDI engines for Peugeot 406. In fact, so a lot of people, there was one I was reading one article about a guy that covered 1 million kilometer mileage in Peugeot 406. Same engine, is a diesel 2.0 HDI engine, not even TD. 2.0, this thing covered 1 million kilometer mileage with the same engine, same manual gearbox, same clutch system, same turbocharger. Because those 2.0 I think they all have turbochargers. So, but this one, no issue. As in, the major components on the major mechanical components of the car remained intact and covered 1 million kilometer mileage. To tell you how good the 406 is, it's all about maintenance. So it is the cheapest. I wouldn't know how compared to petrol over there in Europe, but I know it's a very simple system. I think they now became more complex from Peugeot 407. That's like from 2004 upward. As EU started to tighten their emission system, so manufacturers have to introduce a lot of electric car to be able to beat or be able to, produce system emission, their cars to fall into the standard set up by the EU. So that's it. Now, are you talking about EHDI, right? That's what in the modern produce, right? The ones produced from, is it 2012, 2013? Some of them are E, so more complex than the older ones in Peugeot 406. Okay, there's another question. I believe this answers your question. If you have anything, you can always post. I would tend to it. Send me more messages. I'll make out time. If I can do quick video, record it, and then post it. I mustn't always be via live stream. Anyway, so the third question here is this is from a Nigerian. So it reads, good evening, Ikenna. Stumbled on your YouTube channel. Nice work you are doing. I need your take on my Peugeot 607 V6 engine. Just replaced the engine and now the gear is giving issues, which wasn't the case before. Gear goes straight to 3 when car starts and doesn't select. Okay, so so I'm going to respond to, Peugeot 607 for what? Z8 or Z9, that's the first production or the second production, or the first phase 1, phase 2, series 1, series 2, phase 1, 1998 to 2003, phase 2, 2004 to 2010, 2010. So it didn't state which one, but let's just have to do my explanation. So, replacing the engine, and you said after replacing the engine, then the gearbox issue started, so which is automatic. So when you said gear goes straight to 3 when you start the car and doesn't select, it's a safe mode. That's the way Peugeot designed that engine, designed the system, not just in Peugeot 607. So when the automatic gearbox in these Peugeot cars, especially those ones produced in that that decade, 2000 to 2010, what usually happens is when the gearbox becomes faulty, it will lock itself in gear 3. It will just stay in gear 3. Whether you stop the car, switch it off and start it again, it will just stay in gear 3. Now, it does not necessarily mean the gearbox is faulty. It could be electrical. Yeah, I've handled an issue like that. Like how many times? So it's likely the issue has to do with the, since he said they moved the engine, because they moved the engine, maybe when they dropped it, they didn't do it well. I don't know. Or they didn't put, I don't know. It has to, see, I don't want to condemn. See, if you started immediately after you dropped you mounted the second-hand engine, you replaced with the old one with. Then I will start by checking the electrical first. That's where will be my area of concern. Because even if you introduce a bad ATF, I don't think it will fail immediately like that. It will give you that symptom. Most times they give you some days, hours before it starts. So maybe this issue didn't start immediately after you started the engine, the new engine you introduced on the vehicle. Well, in that case, I could say it's mechanical. But if it's electrical, you have to. There's a case I handled, right? The engine ECU was faulty. And because of that, the automatic gear was now stayed locked in gear 3. So it was also a Peugeot 407 with EW12 J4 and 4 HP 20 automatic gearbox. So the diagnosis eventually led to faulty engine ECU, not even the transmission ECU. So you are doing the, I don't know, it's probably when they change the gearbox or the engine, they mess up with your engine ECU or the wiring connection. So focus on the electrical first. It's possible the problem is coming from the engine or that's the engine connection. So I know the gearbox will just start giving you this issue because you change the engine. It's possible there's a problem somewhere with the electrical. See, they have to put pieces, pull out all the electrical connection on the engine and the gearbox because it is automatic gearbox. Everything must come down, including the engine. You must pull it out, pull the two out of the vehicle. If it's manual, you can actually change the engine and still leave the gearbox inside the vehicle. Though it's easier to pull everything out and do, but I'm just telling you that you have an option. If it's a V6 engine with manual gearbox, you have an option to separate the two, pull out the engine only, or pull out the gearbox only. But if it's automatic gearbox, whether you are changing the engine or you are changing the gearbox, two of them must come out. You can't separate anyone right there. So it's possible. I'll start by telling you have to scan the vehicle, diagnose it first. Start with scanning. The engine ECU or transmission ECU may tell you what is going on, if it's electrical or mechanical. So don't leave out the engine. Just because your engine is sounding well does not mean all is well with what is controlling the engine. So if they mess up, if they did something wrong that is messing up your engine ECU, that's they mess up your connection to your engine wiring connection. It's not disturbing the engine ECU. The engine ECU will also because engine ECU and transmission ECU, they work hand in hand. So it also disrupts the communication between the itself and the transmission ECU, and then the transmission ECU will start controlling the gearbox based on the disruption it's getting from the engine. Engine must be in good condition before the automatic transmission will do its work. If the engine has a problem, the transmission will automatic transmission will mess up. But transmission doesn't behave like the manual. Manual has no communication with the engine electrically, but this one does. So if the engine is not working well, the gearbox will not work well. Until you fix the engine, then the gearbox will start working well. So that's the only thing I'll tell you. So it's possible the gearbox is mechanically faulty. I'm not saying that. Maybe they done something. I can't say because I'm not there. I don't know what could have led to it. But I'm telling you the possibility of what could cause it, which sounds like an electrical issue. So that's my advice. Get a scan tool. At least inspect the wires. If you can't do it, find a good technician, somebody who understands Pojo electrical system. Not just a quack and I don't even know what adjective to use now. Don't just look for. I'm not saying local. Just find somebody good who will not butcher your wires, or who will, when they see a wrong connection or a butchered wire, they will know how serious it is. Because some people, you call an electrician, if it's the type that also butcher wires or abuse wiring connection on Pojo cards, if he sees a wrong connection somewhere, he will not point it out because to him it's normal. So the issue might be there, he will overlook it. So you need somebody that once he sees an abuse electrically or something he believes that shouldn't be the normal way of running a connection, he will point it out to you. Whether it's the cause of the issue or not, it's something he will point out. It's what I do. So it's something you have to look into. So it shouldn't be a worry. Deal with the electrical first, and most likely your issue will be gone. Okay, I think I've tried on this live stream. Hopefully next time I'll make out, on daytime, I'm busy doing some other works. So on weekdays, only usually in the evening, of course, night, that I'll have chance for this. So if you have any questions, send your questions to me on this WhatsApp number there. You can also contact me via Telegram. If you want to call, please let it be audio call. Or if possible, through WhatsApp only. If you because I don't know these days I hardly leave the phone line on, but I can leave the WhatsApp on because I use my unlimited internet subscription modem, so you can always be running the WhatsApp and stay online. But other than that, I will see you guys next time.